Just to clarify, in case anybody goes back to do research on the HPV virus, the statistics is out there that there's like a 16% effective rate, but that's the equivalent of a 1 in 6 chance. It's like putting one bullet in the gun, spinning it, and holding it up to your head, 1 in 6 chance. And
actually, that's an old statistic, because back in 2002, Centers for Disease Control rendered condoms 100% ineffective for stopping the HPV virus.
Wow.
And HPV is the leading cause for cervical cancer in young ladies. And it can also cause cancer in the genitalia for men too. And this is not to scare you, this is just to give you facts, so that you understand what you're working with and what your risks are. Yes, ma'am.
And I was going to say, and even if it doesn't cause cancer, it can cause sterility.
Yeah, you can be sterile, and you won't be able to have children. All right. And so why go through this? Okay, so that's why we're talking about this. Any other questions?
I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
In regards to what we're talking about as far as sex therapy, and God created sex and it was very good. How would it play into us learning about our value and keeping ourselves?
It plays a lot into our value, because one of the things we're going to talk about is how it not only affects the mind, but it affects the heart. And we're going to learn how children without two parents, if they don't have two parents in the home, what it does, it literally causes that child to have a void there, to where their self-esteem is already at a low. And then if something impacts them that causes it to shoot down even further, they don't know their worth and their value. Okay? And we're talking about how sexuality, when you engage in it outside of the proper context, that it also stores memories in your heart. Okay? And if your heart is broken, then you feel worthless. So we're going to talk about that. So it plays a big part into how we value ourselves. Okay? And sometimes we devalue ourselves, or we attempt to devalue ourselves simply because we have a compulsion that we're trying to keep up. Because that dopamine, our cells are saying, give me more, give me more, give me more. And so we'll do whatever we have to do in order to get that fix. Just like a drug addict. They'll devalue themselves just to get that fix. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then the pituitary gland have some kind of stimulus?
Yeah, the pituitary gland, what happens when that amygdala is stimulated, and this is why fathers are important. When a child receives the scent of their father, or pheromones released from their father's body, what happens is it stimulates the olfactory nerve in the nose. And it causes the pituitary gland to be stimulated. And when the pituitary gland is stimulated, it now causes the child to be able to be developed emotionally, causes them to be able to be developed socially, and cause them to be able to be developed sexually. And a lot of males and females, they don't reach puberty properly simply because their pituitary gland has not been stimulated. Okay? And so the pituitary gland plays a big part in that, and we'll talk about that later too. Okay. Did that make sense when I said what I just said?
Yeah.
With it like this? Okay. Yes, sir.
Must it be biological father, or could there be a substitute?
It could be a substitute. Could be a substitute. But you have to make sure that that child has been coached to know that this is a substitute. Because if they are already in a place of rebellion and rejection, that substitute has to be someone who comes in and is really willing to nurture them. And that substitute has to be a person that child is willing to accept as a substitute. Okay? And they have to be coached for that reason. Okay. Any other questions? I'm enjoying it. Yeah, y'all can tell I enjoy this. I'm passionate about this because I'll tell you my testimony later, but I'm passionate about this. One more question. Come on, Lex.
So if your father not in your life, if your father not in your life, you have to find like a male person, like not just any male, but like a male that's actually going to be in his following God. You have to find one so that you can develop correctly.
It's important to do that. That's why the Bible, Paul talks about that we ought to take care of orphans and widows. Orphans are children that are fatherless. Okay? So that means that the men in the church ought to be the ones stepping up saying, okay, I know your dad's not around, but I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to be around you. I'm going to build you up. Come spend some time with me and my family, just so you can get some, get what you need. Okay? That's why that's important. That's why I want you to bring, if your child doesn't have a father, I want you to bring your child around me. Bring your child around me. And man, we got to step up because there's a great disparity. But it's not for us to be discouraged. We can change this. We can change this one child at a time. And so that's why I go around the children so I can spend time with them, especially if I know that I'm talking to them, finding out how things are going on with them, because I know all the while, they're getting my sin. Yes, sir.
Also, and I know this is probably where you're going next week, if we as men fall down in that responsibility, that urge is so strong that especially our young ladies will begin to seek it out elsewhere. And that's when he was talking about how they set up to be abused and misused. It's the search for that missing piece of growth and development, and they'll seek it in other men, and other men will tend to prey on them.
Exactly. And see, and we think that they're just doing it just because they're fast, but no, they're searching after their daddy's scent. And that's why the ratio of young men who lose their virginity is they're losing it at a later and later age. You want to know why? Because a lot of young women are having sex with grown men. And it's not just because they're being fast, but it's simply because they're searching after their daddy's scent. And they don't want a little boy. They want a man. And so you have to be careful about the people. At the same time, you want them to be around a man, but be careful about who you allow your child around. You check him out. Check out his fruit first. Especially when you start dating again, if you're single, when you start dating, check out his fruit first. Don't be letting him stay at home with your children. You don't know nothing about it. All right? So it's important, but it's important for the child to have somebody in their life that is impacting their life. Okay. All right. Well, let's get ready to go. Let's all stand. I know this is a strange format for Sunday morning, but it's necessary. We're changing the entire layout of our platform and everything because we're doing this not just so we can, say we're on YouTube, but we're doing this so that we can get the word out about the truth, so that people's lives can be impacted. Amen. So tell your friends, your neighbors, your cousin, Pookie Nam, Ray, Bobby Joe. Tell them that NPCC is on YouTube. And if this word benefited you, tell somebody else who might need to receive it that we're on YouTube. You can find us under NPCC videos. Okay, NPCC videos. Put it on your Facebook page. Link it to your Facebook page. All right, your Twitter account. And allow somebody, don't just take this word and you just use it for you.